And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, the Clinton smear machine hits a brand new low, releasing a blatantly false ad that tries to paint and tie Donald Trump to the KKK and white supremacists. Here's just part of that ad.
The reason a lot of Klan members like Donald Trump is because a lot of what he believes, we believe in. Donald Trump would be best for the job.
For president.
Yeah.
I am a farmer and white nationalist. Support Donald Trump.
Pretty despicable and disgusting, but Hillary Clinton is not stopping there. Now, earlier today, she gave a major speech accusing Donald Trump of actually being a racist, which she knows is false.
From the start, Donald Trump has built his campaign on prejudice and paranoia. He is taking hate groups mainstream and helping a radical fringe take over the Republican Party. His disregard for the values that make our country great is profoundly dangerous.
A new low, pretty unbelievable. Also earlier today, before Clinton's speech, Donald Trump preemptively, he struck back at the untruthful narrative that Clinton is now pushing.
Voters are used to the old game where failed politicians like Hillary, who did lose to Barack Obama rather decisively, an election she was supposed to win easily. Please don't forget that. Where she falsely smears Republicans with the charges of racism and other things. Republicans then always have a tendency to back down and be defensive and look bad. Not Donald Trump.
Now, Hillary Clinton has been having a horrible couple of weeks here. An AP report further exposing the Clinton Foundation's pay-to-play scheme. So in order to divert attention from the American people, your attention, away from her corrupt candidacy, well, Clinton's trying to play the race card. And as Trump said earlier today, this is just an old trick from the Democrats' playbook. But when the left uses it, they ignore their own rampant history of racism. You may remember Democratic Senator Robert Byrd. Well, he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, and he filibustered the civil rights legislation. Now, here's Hillary praising the former Klansman, Robert Byrd, after his death in 2010.
Senator Byrd was a man of surpassing eloquence and nobility. From my first day in the Senate, I sought out his guidance, and he was always generous with his time and his wisdom. I admired his tireless advocacy for his West Virginia constituents. As Secretary of State, I continued to rely on his advice and counsel.
Seems every election this card is played. There's also former Democratic vice presidential candidate Al Gore. Remember, he made these ridiculous accusations. Take a look.
It's wrong what the leader of the Republican Party and this Congress are doing in blocking an accurate census because they don't want to count everyone that they don't think they can count on. They are in favor of affirmative action if you can dunk the basketball or sink a three-point shot. But they're not in favor of it if you merely have the potential to be a leader in your community and bring people together. Don't tell me we've got a colorblind society.
They don't even want to count you in the census. That's the race card. We can't forget about these two old campaign ads from Democrats that push disturbing falsehoods. Let's take a look at more of this history.
When you don't vote, you let another church explode. When you don't vote, you allow another cross to burn.
On June 7, 1998, in Texas, my father was killed. He was beaten, chained, and then dragged 3 miles to his death, all because he was black. So when Governor George W. Bush refused to support hate crimes legislation, it was like my father was killed all over again.
Well, actually, George Bush supported the death penalty for that individual. And, of course, a lot of these ads are just lies. Just a few examples of how low the Democratic Party will sink every 4 years in order to scare voters into trying to win elections. Now, while Clinton is pushing this unfounded and outright false narrative about Donald Trump, well, she ignores how her own party and President Obama have failed the black community. Now, under President Obama, the number of African Americans on food stamps has gone up a whopping 58%. What a a failure. Also, under Obama, the last 8 years, African Americans in poverty, that's jumped more than 8%. And since Obama took office, the number of African Americans out of the labor force has jumped by 20%. Now, the home ownership rate for African Americans is also down 4.6% under this president. And to top it all off, African Americans' median income has also fallen in real dollars since 2009. Here with reaction is the editor-in-chief of LifeZet.com, Fox News contributor Laura Ingraham. Every 2 to 4 years, Republicans don't want to count you in the census. Republicans are racist, they're sexist, they're anti-gay. How should Donald Trump react to this?
I think his reaction today was really spot on, Sean. He called Hillary out for her record of failures in creating jobs with the Obama administration. He talked about school choice. He talked about the cynical ploy of using the race card every time you're up against the wall, which the Democratic Party is, because they have failed all communities in this country on the job creation and wage raising issues. So when they can't defend a record, when they really don't want to debate the issues, they have to go to this. And they would have done it in different ways to other candidates. People think, oh, it's only because Donald Trump is running. But we saw what they've tried to do to Republicans in the past. And Tom Sowell, I think, said it best. He said, black votes are really what matters. To the extent that Obama and Hillary care about the lives of individual black Americans, to the extent they care about them, they care about their votes more. So as long as you keep people divided, Sean, and polarized, that keeps the heat off the Democrats and their own record. The more racial harmony we have, the less we're going to see of people like Al Sharpton.
It's a coincidence, though, that, this is the week she was exposed. I mean, more than half the people that she met with while Secretary of State were either donors or people that promised money to the Clinton Foundation. So I don't think this is any accident, the timing of her doing this. Do you agree on the timing issue?
I think the timing also has something to do with Trump's outreach to the minority community. I think they're in total freak-out mode over his outreach. And you know how right off the bat they said, oh, he's not really doing outreach. They're doing outreach to white voters, and that he doesn't really care. This is all just a cynical ploy. Well, if it's not going to work, then why are they so worked up about it? So they have to put out this other narrative that, well, this random KKK leader said something about Trump. Right? The whole thing is so ridiculous. I think you pointed out a few weeks back that the U.S. Communist Party supports Hillary. So
but
what
imagine
does that tell
this.
us?
Think of the double standard. All right, so J. William Fulbright is a known segregationist. Bill Clinton swears, well, that's my mentor. Robert Byrd, the former Klansman, is Hillary's mentor. Let's go back. This wasn't even that back long ago, back in 2012, New Yorker Magazine. This is Bill Clinton, actually quoted as saying, Tim Russer told me that, according to sources, Bill Clinton, in an effort to secure the endorsement for Hillary from Ted Kennedy, also said, hey, a few years back, this guy would have been carrying our bags talking about Obama. He has taken his advocacy on behalf of his wife to a level that is pretty troubling. Now, imagine Donald Trump. Imagine the outrage. That would have ended anybody else's career.
Right. Well, this is what happens when you have a compliant media. To see what some of our other cable channel friends are saying today, they merely just parrot what Hillary says about Donald Trump, which is so despicable. It's so toxic for the national dialogue. We have really important issues facing the country. Hillary should come out of hiding, come out of her late-night comedy show appearances, and actually debate the issues that matter. I call her Hideaway Hillary now, Sean, because she just will not answer questions. She's not going to do press
Hideaway
conferences.
Hillary?
Yeah, hideaway Hillary. She's just going to hide away until the election, try to run out the clock. But I mean, I think we're going to say this.
If we're going to do guilt by association, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize. If we're going to do guilt by association, okay. Hillary has embraced the Black Lives Matter movement. What do we want? Dead cops. When do we want them now?
Racist movement. That's truly a racist movement.
So we have said she's also embraced the Reverend Al Sharpton. Let's listen to some of the golden oldies of her friend, Reverend Sharpton.
I'm tired of the McAfee. You ain't nothing. You a punk. Now come on, do something.
We're the best chicken fries in the universe. We don't go buy some Colonel Sanders chicken. Folks was in the cave when we had built empires. We learned to admire them, but they knew to admire us. We built pyramids before Donald Trump ever knew what architecture was. David, yes. You want to be the only on television. The only in the news. The only can talk.
question. So she's friends with Black Lives Matter. She's friends and seeks the approval of Al Sharpton. Then she takes money from countries like Saudi Arabia that kill gays and lesbians, that discriminate against women, Christians and Jews. I think she's got a bigger problem than Trump, should Trump use that.
I think you're right, Sean. I get the sense, and just talking to us regular folks who aren't all that into politics, people are really tired of this. I think Walter Williams, Tom Sowell, folks have written wonderful things about this, that racial unity, racial harmony hurts people like Al Sharpton. It kills off the radicals on the left. It hurts Hillary Clinton. It hurts Barack Obama, because what they really care about, not so much about what's happening in the inner city, whether there's violence, what they really want is power. And they want to keep the dependency game going in the inner cities. If people stop being dependent on government, people start thinking for themselves, their game is up.
All right.
And I think they know it.
I think you hit on something earlier, too, that I agree with, and that is Donald Trump now is reaching out in a major way. He started with his speech in Milwaukee, followed it up with a second speech last week in terms of reaching out to the black community. I think it was the Pew poll, but there was a poll last week that showed he had 14.6% of the black vote. Not high, but higher than the last 8 Republican presidential candidates.
Yeah.
That would be significant.
After the pummeling he's gotten. Yeah, I mean, think about, he has the entire Hollywood establishment against him, entire media establishment, a lot of the GOP establishment, the Democrats, the power, the bully pulpit of the White House, Hillary and all of her minions. And when you look at whether Nate Silver's current prognosis on the Electoral College or the percentage of the black vote, he's doing better than Mitt Romney finished. So what does that tell you? This race is over. There's no race here. There's a viable race. He has an uphill battle, no doubt. But I think he continues to talk about real economic opportunity for people who've been taken for granted and gypped by a political party that has taken advantage of them and that uses them election cycle after election cycle.
This is basically,
he continues to do that. He'll do well.
Last question. This is Hillary trying to gin up the base here. This is her trying to get her base to rally around this narrative. You said this is a use every 4 years. Is this a way to play the race card that the Democratic Party uses every 4 years?
Well, it's clockwork. I mean, we were just looking at our watches to think, well, when is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Hillary's up against the wall. What is she going to say? I did a great job in Benghazi. I did a great job in the Middle East. You know, what is her record? She has no record to run on. So she has to say Republicans racist, Trump's racist, alt-right, all that nonsense that doesn't affect anybody's lives. So this is clockwork, textbook Clinton narrative, and the Democrats' game is so tired. Yeah. I hope people are onto it.
And I hope that people paid attention to what we've been saying here in the stats that we put up, and maybe the media will finally, maybe they'll do a real history of the Democratic Party and racism.
Yeah, be honest.
For the first time. Laura, thank you.
Thanks.
Coming up next tonight on a busy news night here on Hannity.
So what does she do when she can't defend her record? That's right, she lies.
Donald Trump went after Hillary at a rally in New Hampshire earlier today. We've got the highlights and get reaction from the one and only Ann Coulter. She's here, and also tonight.
You can go out. You can beat the pollsters. You can beat the commentators. You can beat Washington.
One of the leaders behind Brexit, Nigel Farage, says that Trump has a good chance of winning in November. That and more tonight on a busy Hannity. Straight ahead.
She do when she can't defend her record? That's right, she lies. He said it. She lies, and she smears, and she paints decent Americans, you, as racists. She bullies voters who only want a better future. I want you to remember these 3 words. Shame on you.
Wow. That was Donald Trump, GOP presidential nominee, earlier today, preemptively responding to these attacks from his Democratic rival, Hillary Clinton. Joining us now, author of 11 New York Times bestsellers. I assume this will be number 12. In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome. Ann Coulter. What's up, Miss Coulter? How are you?
You can't even reach me.
I know. I want to get there. Well, I thought that was shame on you, a perfect way to respond.
It is.
What more do you want me to say?
What do you make of every 4 years we go through this nonsense? Democrats play the race card. Every
it's
4
not
years.
even every 4 years. It's
every
incessant. And particularly in this case, I was going. They had Breitbart had a book party for Trump We Trust last night.
Right.
And I was on my way there in an Uber car, and the Uber driver said, "Do you mind if I listen to the news?" And the whole thing is apparently CNN, I found out, with them all talking about Breitbart being this racist organization, and they're all racist, and they're racist. And